The Neo Egoists League officially wrapped up. We are finally in the U20 World Cup. Now, we've already faced Nigeria and won, and France and lost, and now we are going to face England. But there is one massive question completely dividing the community. Where is Itoshi Sae, and what are his true thoughts on Blue Lock? In this video, we will break down the new gen World 11 midfielder, the offensive midfielder Itoshi Sae, and we discover whether he will finally swallow his pride and join Blue Lock, or whether he will watch us burn on the sidelines. We go through his struggles with Rin and how he seems to view Isagi as the true heart of Japanese soccer. Do you think Sae will actually play for Japan or not? If you're hyped for the Japan v England match, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more in-depth Blue Lock analysis, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Number 1, the current state of Blue Lock. The Neo Egoist League turned a standard youth tournament into a multi-billion-dollar global entertainment product where players fought for massive club contracts on a live broadcast rather than just a national pride. Now, they were forced to reach the level of monsters like Kaiser and Don Lorenzo and even Loki and Charles. Just to keep up, they had to physically rewrite themselves. They had to pull in Isagi and break down what made them special and rebuild into a better striker. Number 2, Sae's history. He rejected Japan's striker hopes as when he went to Spain, he entered the Real Youth Academy, but however, a Spanish player forced Sae to hit an insurmountable wall against the fact that he knew that he didn't have the power or instinct to shoot like the strikers, for example Buddy Iglesias, and other Spanish strikers that we will see later on. Secondly, Sae evolved his ego, realizing that instead of fighting a losing physical battle up front, he could control the entire pitch as a midfielder and mathematically dictate exactly who gets the score, which then highlights the numbers on his ego. And his arrogance stems from his deep hatred towards Japan's traditional football philosophy, which he views as a passive factory that prioritizes harmony over individual killer instincts and is therefore too lukewarm and too tepid to ever stand out. In the U20 game, Sae says, "I guess Japan soccer does have a future." This makes Rin's eyes light up. However, he wasn't talking about Rin, he was talking about Isagi, saying, "The striker that holds Japan's future is Yoichi Isagi." Now, Sae views Rin's current destroyer flow as a narrow-minded, egotistical, brat-like state because it is fueled by a toxic family feud rather than a desire to become the world's best monster. Now, while Rin won the physical duel against Sae in the U20 match, it was Isagi who used pure meta vision and off-the-ball movement to anticipate the loose ball and score the winning goal, also known as the final shot that proved that Isagi is better than Rin. Sae explicitly praised Isagi over Rin because Isagi ignores family drama and will destroy himself to win and become a machine to create goals, which is also tying into his smell of a goal, which would be required to change Japanese football. Number 4, I believe Sae will have a strange place in the lineup against the new Gen 11. You see, the midfield is already near perfect with people like Karasu, Bajira, Shigiri, and possibly Toya, possibly Reo. So putting Sae in there would kind of clash with everybody else. Now we have to remember that Ego won't be allowed to use any of them, so we'll also have Nagi to think about. Now let's say Ego does decide to use Nagi. That will be a reason why he shouldn't Sae. Now pairing Sae with a hyper-spatial passer like Hiyori in the central midfield would create a devastating dual engine that could process information faster than any global defense. Now pairing that with IQ, Karasu and Isagi and Nico, the meta vision on that pitch will allow any loose ball that goes in the air to be instantly caught within the space of seconds. And the reason why Sae even wants to join the World Cup is not because of patriotism, but just curiosity, as we saw him pick Shido instead of the people that Barasta was suggesting. He wants to join the U20 Japan squad as his cold egoistic desire to test whether Blue Lock's top strikers can actually survive his high-speed, flawless passing execution. His inclusion acts as a forced evolutionary step that will instantly compel the starting strikers to develop a higher tier of physical reflex, or they will face immediate substitution and never ever be allowed to touch the pitch again. And then we will have players like Sendo on the pitch. We really don't want that, but maybe his GTA 6 training will help. Finally, number 5. This is the most important one, because Sae will either completely lock in, realize his dream to become a striker again in the match against Spain, or he will crumble completely and lose his places in New Gen World 11 and permanently be benched. This is because Bunny, as we saw in the Barcha match with Lavino passing to Bunny and him scoring a jumping turn, sort of like Nagi but with no need to trap the ball. It's sort of like a high air direct shot. Now, Bunny represents the absolute dark side of the New Gen 11 by playing with the twisted, joy-crushing egoism that feeds entirely off of the despair of his opponent, as when he was talking to Isagi, we could see that he says, "Whenever I see a happy person like you, it makes me want to puke." The friction between Sae and Bunny is a fundamental clash between Sae's pristine, perfect football, and Bunny's chaotic, emotionally manipulative dominance on the field. Now Sae detests Bunny because he treats the sport like a psychological playground, just like Kaiser, but that's really the only person he's like. And Bunny may be the exact prodigy whose overwhelming madness actually forced Sae to abandon his striker dream in Japan, as well as Leonardo Luna, who we also know is the scion of Real. These are all the points that I think could happen for Itoshi Sae in the upcoming matches. I do hope that Sae does manage to push past his past drama and survive Blue Lock, but if he doesn't, it clearly shows that he was not as good as we thought he was, and he will be quickly surpassed by even the likes of Shuto Sendo, and even Fukaku Gen might score into the side, and that's something I don't want. But I'll see you in the next video. In the next video, I will either do... No, in the next video, I'm guaranteed to do Rin version, because I've just done Sae. Next video, I'm doing Rin. See you in the next one. The next one will drop on Tuesday as we have a break week before chapter 354. So, see you in the next video. Bye.